Okay, minasan, today we are gonna go back to my roots. We are gonna review an anime. So for those who do not know, I actually started out this channel reviewing anime. And today, I actually have a new anime that I really want to talk about. And that is Sentai Daishikkaku Go Loser Ranger. Okay, so today we have the very first episode 8 to us. And I really love it, and part of the reason that I love it so much is because I love the creator of the anime itself. The creator of this anime is the same creator that created Tiger and Bunny. It is one of my favorite Sentai vibe, or should I say kind of like a Tokusatsu vibe anime that actually released in the past, and right now they are spearheading this Sentai Daishikkaku project, and I love the first episode. I actually go and read the first chapter of Sentai Daishikkaku manga, and the first episode covers exactly 1-to-1. Okay, like the first chapter cover the first episode cover the first chapter of the manga. They didn't change much of what actually happened in the manga itself. But one thing that I really like in this anime itself is the animation. They really went all out. The animation quality is really spot on. Really love the color. Really love how they actually put so much love into the action, into how they actually go about doing this episode. But then again, at the same time, I just gonna give you guys a little bit of heads up. Usually in anime, not only in anime, but in almost every media that actually requires a lot of effort to do, usually their pilot episode, which is their first episode, they're gonna throw everything they have onto the first episode because they know the first episode is what gets people hooked and people is gonna continue to watch it. I'm not so sure about Sentai Daishikkaku, like how much of a quality drop we are gonna get for episode 2. So we just gonna have to wait and see until the episode 2 actually get released. Okay, so I felt like this anime, for those who do not know what the plot is actually about and you are still on the fence like, hey, should I watch it or should I not watch it? Let me give you a little bit of summary on this entire story. So this story focuses on a group of rangers that actually defeated the villain within the first year of the arrival of the villain itself. And I think when the ranger actually took 1 year to defeat the villain is actually very realistic, because most of the time when we watch a Sentai series, it runs for 1 year. Okay, so after 1 year, like the Sentai is gonna manage to defeat the villain, final boss, something like that, and that is usually how the story goes. But in this anime, in this manga, it is different, because when they manage to defeat all the executive of the villain group, they manage to defeat the final boss of the villain, the Sentai actually did not finish off the villain, but instead, the Sentai actually choose to have a truce with the rest of the villain, with the mob character, with the foot soldier. The foot soldier is the one that we actually saw in Sentai series, all the villain that wears the similar costume and all those stuff. We call them the mobster, something like that. But in this anime, they call them the foot soldier, they call them the dusters. So we're just gonna call them the dusters from now on. So the Sentai actually allowed the dusters to stay alive for one pure reason: to milk the franchise, to milk the popularity of hero versus villain. This is what happened when you let, how do I say it? If you really think about it, this is how I felt when I watched Power Ranger. Because back in the day, Power Ranger and Super Sentai is very different. Super Sentai, every 1 year they're gonna release one new Sentai, but for Power Ranger, they just have to connect everything together. It's like after Mighty Morphin, they move on to to Turbo Ranger. They are sharing the character after Turbo. They went to in space and they are sharing the character, and after that they are reusing and reusing. It's like they just keep on milking the franchise over and over again, and this is what you like. A lot of people is gonna feel like, and or maybe another better example is Walking Dead. Okay, like when you watch The Walking Dead, I felt like that is a really, really well built franchise, because like people get sick of Walking Dead around season 8 or season 7, something like that. The moment the main character go off the show, almost everyone I know stopped watching the show. But what they did instead, they realized, okay, we get rid of the main character. What do we do now? And the most crazy thing is that they actually released 4 different Walking Dead TV show after that. That is insane, man. Like when I think about it, like, this is what the Rangers in Sentai Daishikkaku did. They milk everything from the mobster themselves. They milk everything from the duster themselves, because the part of the truce agreement is that I'm not gonna kill all of you guys, but one thing you guys need to do is that every Sunday at an allocated time, you must come up with you must go down to Earth, fight us, and that is the agreement. That is insane, man. Like for 13 years they have been doing that every single week, and the crazy thing is that people still show up to see. People still care about what is actually happening, and that is really, really crazy. Because if you I'm not sure whether or not this is close to reality or not, because if it were me, let's talk about war. Okay, like talk about wars that happens on Earth, something like that. Most of us is not gonna really care about this thing if it's not actually happening in front of us. So I feel like if this thing that keeps on dragging for more than 10 years and they happen every single week, I felt like sooner or later people are just gonna get bored of it and like just gonna move on with their life. So but this anime is different, okay? Like people are still hooked on it, and it is the big thing in their country. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but this is really, really crazy, and we are not sure about what is the structure of this anime world itself. Like, is it in Japan? Is it like they are sharing one United Nations, something like that? We are not sure. Okay, we are not sure. And are the Rangers even Japanese? I don't think so. But all of them have Japanese name. Most of them have Japanese names. So yeah, we are not sure. Okay, but really, really fun first episode here, and I felt like they managed to set the expectation really, really high, and I really, really love it. So definitely there are gonna be people who already read the manga, but I just want to tell you, I am not part of that gang. Okay, how I review stuff usually is that I go in blind. I don't read anything. I don't prepare myself. I watch the anime and I just say what I think about it. And the first episode is fantastic. I felt like one thing that is quite weak is maybe the sound design. If they actually like be more like how to detail on the sound design, maybe it's gonna be so much more impactful. But then again, I'm not criticizing it. I'm just like, it's just minor flaw. Okay, like if they have like better sound design, I felt like the first episode impact is gonna be way better, because I felt like there are some sound effect that is missing from this first episode that I felt like if only they added in the little detail, I think it's gonna be way more better. But then again, that is just my opinion. One thing that really questioned me that I have after I watched the first episode is obviously, why is the Rangers able to kill the executive of the monster, but and yet when they are able to survive the divine artifact attack from the Rangers itself? They call themselves immortal, something like that. So there has to be a reason like why like like the Rangers is able to defeat the executive, but the Dusters, they actually manage to survive and keep on. They just keep on coming back, something like that. They are immortal. So my big idea here, like I said, I did not read the manga, so I'm just spitting my ideas here. Is like maybe the reason why that actually happened is because like the Rangers did not use the real divine artifact that they actually created to kill the executive of the monster themselves. So they're actually using effect version of their weapon. Okay, so maybe there is the reason why like they are not being able to kill their weapon is not able to kill the monster, something like that. Maybe, okay, that is just an idea. But overall, I felt like what the direction of this show is gonna go, for my personal humble opinion after watching the first episode, is the answer to defeat an evil ranger that appears to be a good ranger is to become an evil ranger yourself. So imagine this scenario of how the story is gonna go. Right now, the Dragon Keepers are kind of like the good guy on Earth itself. So how do you combat this? You create an evil ranger. You create the Psycho Ranger of the Dragon Keepers. Maybe you can create the Tiger Keeper. Like, I feel like in the first chapter, in the first episode, they tease the idea like how the opposite of dragon is tiger in Japan. So maybe at the end of the story, we are actually going to see the Tiger's Keeper versus with the Dragon Keepers. I don't know. Maybe there's just an idea, because right now we saw one Duster that is actually infiltrating the Sentai Academy, something like that. And why do they even need a Sentai Academy? Like what are they? It's kind of weird that they actually have a Sentai Academy and all those stuff. Maybe they just want to like earn money and all those stuff. Like we never know. Okay, but really fun first episode. Like I said, I really love how even the Duster themselves have different variety. Like even though all of them have shared a similar design, but you can clearly see that every single one of them have their own personal characteristic. Like we saw Foot Soldier L. She is a female. I think she's the only one so far that we know. And F is the fat mob. And for Z, he's slightly bigger and all those stuff. So we get to see different sort of Dusters. And then I think that is really fantastic. And I really hope that we actually get to see more of that in the future. Okay, so with that being said, that is all from me regarding the first episode of Sentai Daishikkaku. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of this anime? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think that a different company should animate it, or you prefer the manga? Because I honestly speaking, after I read the first chapter of this manga versus the anime, I felt like the anime did it really well. I felt like the anime did it justice and even surpassed the vision that the manga actually have. Okay, so really fantastic stuff here. But with that being said, that is all from me. Hope you enjoy. And lastly, if you made it this far into the video, I would recommend you to comment the word gray in the comment section below, because gray is what we are looking for. The gray area of justice, the gray area of villainy is the secret source to victory, I felt like, for this anime. Okay, so that is all from me. Hope you enjoy, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye.